is the Winning at Work and Home podcast with Damon Eddy, dedicated to helping individuals not only win at work, but more importantly, win at home and in life, helping individuals define what true success looks like for them, and helping them live that success daily, allowing more freedom to passionately love the people and enjoy the things that matter most in their life. Welcome to the Winning at Work and Home podcast with Damon Eddy.
Good morning, guys. Today is the 28th, a couple more days until 2021. I know a lot of us will be excited to put this year behind us. I love this time of year because, like hopefully many of you, we start to come up with different ways, goals, resolutions, ways that we can try to improve, which I really like, which I enjoy. It's to try to put in some. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you? To try to put in some different disciplines, some more things that we can do to just try to be better individuals. So I love this time of year. Actually, I'm trying a new schedule this morning, getting up a little bit earlier, and it's interesting. One of the things that I used actually 4 times already this morning. A great book and a great speaker is Mel Robbins, and she talks about the 5-second rule. And it's really interesting. It's something that you do. So for example, when you need to take action on a certain thing, and that could be as simple as getting out of bed in the morning, which for me, got up super early. I'm trying to, like I said, put in a new schedule. And as soon as that alarm clock goes off, and you know you need to get up, you just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you get up. So I had to use that this morning. So I used that to actually get up and sit on the edge of the bed. And then I did another countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to get my butt off of the bed and begin to walk into the bathroom. It was super early, but it's a really cool trick. I did it again this morning. As I was journaling, I was kind of just sitting there in thought, and I knew I wanted to get this started at 6:30, around there. So I had to 5, 4, 3 to get up out of my comfortable chair in which I kind of read and journal, and get heading over here to get started. So it's a cool little hack, a cool little trick. If when you're wanting to do something, the trick is though that you have to take immediate action. That when that thought comes to your mind of that action, before your brain talks you out of it, you begin to count down from 5. I'm not sure the theory is 5 as opposed to 10, this and that. Probably the reason 5 because it gives your brain again less time to talk yourself out of it and want to naturally stay in that comfortable state. So anyways, that wasn't what I was going to talk about this morning. So, we're going through this book right here. And if you're watching online, Og Mandino's The Greatest Salesman in the World. Just a great little book. If you haven't read the book, I highly recommend you read the book. It's a classic. And in there, they talk about 10 ancient scrolls. It's a parable, smaller story, only about 100 pages. 10 ancient scrolls of wisdom, and we are on the last 2, scrolls 9 and 10. And I really recommend, guys, going back to the previous podcasts and listening to the discussion of the other scrolls. But we're on the last 2 today, this morning. So super excited to get to them because they are good, incredible little nuggets of wisdom. And I think this is going to be incredibly relevant. I know it is, as we're coming into the new year, right? These scrolls and these lessons, and I'm excited for it. Gosh, a thought came to my mind, and I wanted to tell you something I can't remember. Oh, I know what it is. I don't know online if you can see that lamp right there. It's super, super cool. I have to tell this story because I love it. I was watching Peaky Blinders. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that series on Netflix. Peaky Blinders. This is awesome. I swear that actor, I'm drawing a blank on his name, is going to be the next James Bond. Like, he needs to be the next James Bond. Thomas Shelby is his character in Peaky Blinders. And it's such a good, so anyways, I was watching this, that show, and it takes place in the early 1900s. And it's so cool. And there's the great scene, and I love the their offices, and they're just the backdrops that they have. Anyways, that lamp right there is something that I got from my father and my mom. I'm not sure where they got it from, but anyways, that actual lamp is in a scene in Peaky Blinders. It's crazy. And I know it's an expensive lamp. I can't remember. I'm going to try to do some research on it, but it's the coolest thing because it's such a unique lamp, and it's so old, obviously, and they put it back in that period. So it probably is back from that period, but it's really cool because if you're watching, that's a very unique lamp. And just to see that, I'm watching the scene in Peaky Blinders, like, oh my gosh, that's my desk lamp. So anyways, I don't know why I told you guys that. Just some interesting facts, I guess, on my lamp. So let's get to it. Scroll number 9 is all is worthless without action. All is worthless without action. And this book is great because it's really a wonderful classic personal development book, and it's just really good. Without action, dreams that we have, the plans, the goals that we set are worthless. Maps, okay, without action are not helpful. So often what we do this time of the year is we develop our plans, right? We develop our goals of what we want to do. But if we don't act on those goals, if we're not consistent and we don't take action, it's worthless. And you see that a lot, right? You see that where a lot of times what we do, they say most personal development books or CDs or tapes, a lot of people now just watch stuff online, but people, you get that feeling of excitement, you get that feeling of accomplishment when you go ahead and order it, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to make a change, and you order it and you feel good for yourself for a little bit. But it's really that continuing the learning of the program and the action that's needed. And a lot of times what we do is we get caught up and we get excited about setting goals and resolutions, and then we actually don't take action on that. So action ignites plans into a living force. Action is the food that brings life to dreams, right? We got to have action to make our dreams a reality. Procrastination, right? That's a big thing that we deal with, okay, when we don't take action. I was also reading something about paralysis, right? Paralysis by analysis. There's sometimes we get scared, and really, that is born out of that procrastination. Often is born out of fear. And to conquer fear, you have to act. You have to act, right? Recent thing that we did, we went to Mexico with a family. We did zip lining in Mexico, and we did these what do you call it, where you go back down the side of a mountain, or rappelling, that's what it was. And I'm telling you guys, it was extremely scary. I'm very, very scared of heights. So we take these asses or these mules or donkeys all the way out to the top of this mountain in Mexico. It's I forget the mountain range, it's over in Puerto Vallarta. But I was so scared. I was really, really scared. I'm just scared of heights. And I remember, man, just having to mentally prepare to no, just do it, just And then it wasn't as scary towards the end until we got to that crazy water slide at the end where you had to wear a helmet with a face mask. I'm like, why are we wearing a helmet and a face mask on this slide? And then I realized why. But it's just crazy, right? So procrastination. I love this when he talks about a firefly only glows when it flies. A firefly, it only glows when it flies. And that's something that we need to understand. We can only light up, and we can only make an impact or make a difference or serve or be realizing our dreams when we're actually taking action. Otherwise, if we're just sitting there, our light's not going to shine. Okay, so I'm just giving you some points here. How do we take action? When he talks about taking action, we take action with habit and mind conditioning. which is a little bit of what I talked about this morning with the 5-second rule and Mel Robbins, getting up, right? You take action, get up out of bed, do the countdown, do those little hacks. Okay? So you got to change your behavior. You got to motivate my action. Okay? It's so important that we take action in what it is. And one of the things that's going to be so important, and this is kind of off the book a little bit here, or is we got to have a big enough reason. We got to have a big enough why, and that's important. One of the things is because whatever action that we are going to take, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard, and we got to have a big enough why, a big enough motivation to move us forward when it does get challenging. I talk about this all the time because I think it's so incredibly relevant that anything worthwhile is uphill. John Maxwell said that. And it's so true. Anything that we want to achieve, whether that's in our business, in our marriage, parenting, all those different things, okay, we have to have a big enough reason why, because it is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So just understand that. The other one that I want to talk about, so scroll number 9 is all is worthless without action, guys. You got to take action. That seems pretty obvious in regards to it, right? But that's where most of us fail, is we don't take action on what it is that we're trying to achieve, right? A lot of us know what it is that we need to do, right? It's taking the action, taking the step, taking that, whether that's stepping out of the fear into the action, whatever it may be. But a lot of us do know what it is that we need to do. I'm a real estate agent. I work with real estate agents. It basically comes down to contacting a certain amount of people a day, right? And letting them know that you're there for them inside and out of real estate. But what happens is a lot of times we overcomplicate things. We overcomplicate because a lot of times people don't want to contact people. They feel that it's uncomfortable, or they have a certain story or mindset that they tell themselves, so they won't do it. They won't take action on what it is that they know that they need to do. But most of the time we do know what it is that we need to do. It's just taking the action towards that. So number 10, the last one, is pray to God for guidance. It's really a natural instinct. Who has not cried out to God, when trouble rises? It's really interesting. I remember I was super, super young, and I was with my dad. My parents separated when I was very young, and I would go visit my dad in Florida in the summers. And I remember one time that it was it always rains there in the summer, or in the seasons. It seemed like it was always like you get these quick little light rains, and it makes the roads real slick. And I remember that I was driving my dad, and it was raining, and I guess he hydroplaned or got out of control, and the car started to spin. And I remember crying out to God, saying, God, please help, please help. Just a split second, right? Just that natural instinct. And it's really, really odd that I was so young, but yet I called out to God, right? And I haven't accepted him as my savior. I don't think at that particular time. I did when I was 10 years old and I was younger. But it is so true that often when trouble arises and we have these deep despairs and these things, or these tragedies, or these things that pop into our life, that we do call out to God. We really do. And, so just to be aware of that, it's very, very interesting. We need to pray daily for guidance. We need to do that. We need to ask for help. We need to ask for his strength. We need to ask for his, as journaling this morning, the discipline to do what it is that I need to do, the discipline to love and to serve others through his strength, right? To please God, to do things, I wouldn't say for his approval, but I think so much what we do is we try to get the approval of others, and others, just like myself and everybody, we have faults. We're not perfect. And a lot of times what that does is when we try to get the approval from others, it's not a winning proposition. It really isn't. But when we do things, and I got to be careful when I say this, right? Because I don't know if it's to please God, but we do things to that are right, that are correct, that would put a smile on his face. Not that we're not going to mess up, not that we're not going to be sinful, we're not perfect. And to know that we have his grace and his blessing and his love. But it's really interesting to think about that. So I like how Og kind of wraps it all up. And scroll number 10 is to pray for God's guidance, to really have him be your guide through life. And, to ask for love, to ask for humility, to ask for victory in challenges, success, temperament, courage, laughter, long life, productivity, gratitude, good words, persistence, all these different things, to pray for these things. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but to pray for the guidance, to pray for the good things. God asks us to pray for those things, how he answers those prayers. Sometimes we think that he's not answering, but it may not be answering the way that we desire or in the time that we desire. But to pray for those things, to pray for guidance, to pray for compassion, I think empathy, to pray for, the discipline of good habits. One of the things that I love in my form of prayer is journaling. Like, I love to journal. That's what I love to do. My pastor got me into doing that, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. And that's kind of my form of prayer, is to ask for certain things, or not ask for certain things, but to ask for his strength, to ask for, to help me get through the day, if that makes sense, in a way in which I can serve and love and show kindness and show patience and show compassion and encouragement to my kids and those around me. So, so scroll number 10 is to pray for God's guidance. One of the things too that I want to end with here that I think is going to be important as we kind of close that out is how we deal. How we deal. I talked about this, I think last week, how we deal. And we can do all these things. We can plan, and we can set goals, and we can take action, and we can do all the things that we know that we should be doing and could be doing. But life always throws us curveballs. Life and each day throws us curveballs. And I think it's how we deal with those curveballs, how we deal with those tough situations, how we deal in the middle of the day when things may not seem to be going that well. How we deal with large things in our life, like tragedies or traumas or disease or death, all these different things that many of us have experienced already, right? And will experience. We're all going to experience death. We're all going to experience the death of loved ones. We're all going to come to a certain point in our life in which our body doesn't work the way that we would like it to work. We're all going to deal with certain things with our children that are going to be incredibly tough and incredibly hard and incredibly challenging. And it's how we deal in those moments. Who do we go to for strength? Who do we go to for guidance? How do we react? What actions do we take? How do we move ourselves through that and possibly out of those situations, coming out better on the other end? It's incredibly, incredibly important, right? Because every day there's these emotions, there's these things that happen, and how we handle those things that affect our emotions matter, and they matter tremendously. Life is not going to work perfectly. We can do all the planning we want. We can do all the notes and the lists and the different hacks and strategies to try to be more successful in the most important areas of our life. But it's really, I think, how we deal best deal with those challenges in our life, because, as we talked about in the beginning, anything worthwhile, anything going after is going to be incredibly hard. It's going to be incredibly challenging. If you want to be a good parent, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work. And it's going to be hard. And there's going to be times that you think that your kids do not even listen to you. Most of the time, it will be that way, that you feel that they don't listen to you, that you feel like you have screwed up as a parent, that you feel like you could have done things differently, right? And the hardness of dealing with that. But the thing about it is you have a choice to be better in that day, right? You have a choice to move forward and just love and encourage your kids. All these different things, right? Traumas, tough clients, not feeling that great, backaches, disease, all these different things, right? And I'm not trying to end on a negative note here. I'm just trying to say that really how we deal with those hardships in life, how we can really move. Because you have a choice, right? You actually do have a choice. These things that we deal with, large or small, whatever they may be, you have a choice to learn from them and to grow and to get better and to become stronger, or you can go the other way, okay? And they can tear you down, and they can turn your life into a not so good of a situation, right? And I think it's being thankful for those hardships, being thankful for those, that may be the trick there too a little bit. And I'm just rambling on, I need to end it. But, understanding that being thankful for the struggles, because the struggles are, or be thankful for the valleys, because that's where we grow and that's where we learn. And that's where, when we can come out the other end, a better person, a stronger person, being able to empathize with individuals. I think one of the greatest things and the neatest things in regards to hardships, if there is a neat thing, is being able to empathize and being able to be there for others in their hardships, right? When you finally wake up to reality and you understand that everybody struggles with something, everybody has something in their life that's a deep pain, that's a hurt. And when you can get to the point, I think, to where you can understand that and know that and be able to be there for another person through that's such a wonderful, wonderful blessing, and I think place to be in your life, to where you can really, really be there for another person, because you've experienced pain too. And you know what it's like, and you know what they may be feeling or may not, right? Maybe it's not that particular trauma or that particular pain, but you know how to sit there with them and you know how to be there for them. And I think that's incredibly important. And we have to learn those things. I really do. We have to learn those things by going through our own pains. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent a little longer in this podcast than I normally like to go, but I appreciate you listening to this. I appreciate you watching this. If you feel that this podcast is enjoyable and you like it, Cheryl, if you want to give me a review, I think that helps. So you can go on iTunes or wherever this podcast is, give a review. That would be awesome. Share it with your friends. Tell it with your friends if it's worthwhile for you to listen to this. Again, it's just one of those things in this podcast. We're just trying to grow, just trying to get better, just trying to move through life as a father, as a husband, as a businessman looking to provide for my family in any way that I can, which, by the way, are in the most expensive years of their life right now. So it's I enjoy doing these podcasts. For me, this is almost therapy. This is getting these words out and communicating and talking and sharing. I love it. So I'm incredibly grateful that you take the time as well to listen to this. Have an amazing, amazing day. just have a wonderful day. Go out there and love and serve others, and just have an awesome day. Bye, guys. See ya.